welcome back to another episode of the Rooted Connections podcast.
Woo-hoo.
Here we discuss our roots and how that it affects us now and, how it shaped us. My name is Uju, and as always, I'm here with my girl.
Hi, everyone. My name is Pam. Welcome back to the Rooted Connections podcast, as Uju has said. The first time coming, welcome. If you've been riding with us, welcome.
Welcome back.
Yep.
Welcome back. So, babes, how are you?
I'm okay. The weather's been better.
It has, actually. It has.
A lot of sunshine.
I'm enjoying the sunshine. It's been cool.
Yeah.
You can see I'm tanned.
Which kind?
I'm tanned now.
It's okay.
Why are you like this?
You are tanned.
Why are you like this?
You are, hey, God. I say you are very tanned.
Yeah,
Fresh.
I remember going to
Fresh and glowing.
the clinic once. The other questions. And the girl said, I'm sorry to ask you this question, but do you tan? I'm looking, I'm like, can you not see my color? Do I look like someone that will go out and be sitting in the sun to get any darker?
I don't know what she was trying to say there, but...
That one, I'm not dark enough.
You're not dark enough.
She's not serious.
You need a bit more tanning.
She's not serious. Anyway, I think it's a question on the form and she just had to ask it.
Computer says...
That's what we can skip now.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, it is what it is. But yeah, I've been enjoying the sunshine and it's been good. It's been good.
Hopefully, British weather will not do a one, You know how we always, 1 minute is cold, 1 minute is hot.
Well, this is the UK, it has to. It's rained today already. Or drizzled
I know,
today
right?
already.
Which has helped a bit, actually, with the
With
temperature.
the heat. Well, please, God, we are not complaining. Please keep the sunshine. We are not complaining. Because we sound like we're whinging, but really we're not. We're loving it. So, right. So today, we're going to do our usual intro cards just to have a little bit of a chit chat.
Yeah.
And my question to you, Pam, is what advice would you give to your 20s self?
Do you know this question comes up a lot very recently? I don't know whether it's because you have crossed into a certain stage.
I don't know what you're talking about. I really don't know what you're talking about.
It makes you feel very elderly when you ask the question. But actually, it's a really good question. And it's one that I don't know whether my answer changes, but I think one of the things that is at the core for me is don't rush. Don't rush. And, it just sounds very cliche because when that question comes up, it's the first thing that pops in my head. Because thinking back to when I was early 20s, even late teens, early 20s, there was that hurry to do things. Decision making, things around dating, things around mingling. But I think when you get more and more into adulthood, it hits you at a point where just enjoy it.
Live in the moment.
Exactly. Enjoy it. Just, soak in every minute of it. Because where are you rushing to?
I got you. I that's a good advice, actually. Because we were in such a hurry. But this adulting be hard. And
I don't know how else we can say it. I think it's one of those things that you have to just experience it to get it.
Absolutely.
No matter how much you try and tell young people that, look,
enjoy this season of life because the next season comes with, obviously it's still enjoyable, don't get me wrong, but it comes with a different set of challenges that, you now miss the freedom that you had in your 20s and all. I think for me, the advice I would give my 20-year-old self would be take more risks. On a personal note, you understand? You're thinking of, I used to think of all the things that could go wrong with whatever decision it is that I wanted to do. But it's kind of like, so I would say seize the opportunities, take more risks, because there are things I want to do now, but there's much more at stake.
Yeah, there's a lot more to consider.
Absolutely. Do you get? If I wanted to, I don't know, move to a different country, I can't just up and go.
Yeah. I mean, I was talking to a young person yesterday and they were saying how they are traveling, and I just thought about it that, the young person I think is 18 or 19 and she's just traveling. That's all she's doing right now. And looking back to when I was 18, 19, did I do any of those things?
Absolutely not.
So I just found it so, I really admired that because I don't think it's something that I would have ever thought about doing. I think the first time I ever traveled by myself, I was in my late 20s, So yeah, I think you're right. Just enjoy that moment and take the risk.
Just take some of the, of course, measured risk. I'm not saying just
Don't go wild,
not be reckless.
Yeah.
But if there's a career path or a job that seems very random that you want to try, do it.
Mm-hmm.
If there is a business, whatever, that you want to try, or a training you want to, or a pivot you want to make, do it. I mean, because you don't have that much to lose at that point. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You move to the next thing.
Sure. That's great. Yeah, I agree. 100%. Okay. So my turn then. Do you regret any decisions or things? Is there any decision that you've ever made in your life that you have had regrets, or anything you have done in your life that you just thought, maybe I shouldn't have done that?
To be honest, I think it feeds off what I was saying now. The advice I would give to my 20-year-old self is, I think the things that I regret more are things that I didn't do as opposed to the things that I did.
Yeah.
Just what I mean? Staying too long in certain jobs, those sort of things, not really like serving myself.
Okay.
As opposed, maybe it's a mix of my personality or whatever, but I didn't put myself as the number one priority in certain decisions,
Yeah.
Even when you stay even in staying so long in a job, it's kind of like, oh, I'm doing this job, I can't abandon them now. Oh, we are part of this team trying to be. No, man, they are not thinking of you.
No one cares about you.
They are not thinking of you. So all this loyalty that you're trying to bring in.
Because if you think about it, it's an organization.
Absolutely.
And it's set up to run a certain way. And it's not because people don't necessarily care about you, but the organization has to keep going.
Absolutely.
And you're just a number.
Bottom line.
So that space that you fill, it's a space. So the minute that space is void, somebody else has to fill it. Yeah. I mean, on a personal level, people can reach out to you and, just empathize in whatever situation. God forbid, it's not that you die. But say you've got long-term, illness or whatnot. There might be that people reaching out to you, but my life goes on. No?
I've actually had 2 colleagues die.
See?
As in, and unexpectedly.
Yeah.
And these are young people.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's deep.
And, it's strange. The person was here last week. One of them, he came to work on Friday. By Monday, he was gone.
Wow.
So it's kind of...
It hits different.
It hits different, Yes, for the first hour or so, the whole office was quiet. No one knows what to say, what to do. But your client emails you. You got to respond.
Yeah.
We can't say the office did not close.
Yeah.
And you can see management straight away. They're thinking, okay, this guy was a manager of a team. So it's like, who's going to step on? Yeah.
HR, what are we going to do?
What are we going to do? How are we going to fill this until we can fill his role permanently? What are we going to do?
Who's going to step into it?
And in a matter of months, you won't have known there was another person there, that there was somebody that left.
And that's just how life goes.
Absolutely.
That's how life goes.
So you can't, if you don't focus on the things that are important to you, or more, life will pass you.
Yeah. And I think quite similarly to you as well. I think for a really long time, I would say that if I have any regrets, and maybe not necessarily regrets, because I don't like to use the word regret, because I think everything that happens shapes you.
Absolutely.
And they're there to teach you, and, you if you don't learn the lessons, how do you move to the next phase?
Absolutely.
But I think one of the things I've had to be forced to learn is to live in the moment. Back to what you were saying earlier. And I've had to get to my 40s to now start to do that, where I'm living
in the
moment, where I'm not trying to, of course, I've got responsibilities. I've got my children. I've got everything else going. I have to think about them. But in general, just trying to do things for me, trying to enjoy this phase of my life.
Absolutely.
Do you understand? It's just not something I've ever thought about, but I'm getting to be more intentional about now. So, like they say, I think something switches in your brain when you cross 40.
You know what? You know, when they make that statement, life begins at 40.
It's not a lie.
It's not a lie. I used to think it was just...
It's not a lie.
It's just nonsense.
No.
But I get it now, because I think you're no longer... You've gone over the, exuberance of youth. You now have sense.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. But in contrast, that's where they make that
You
statement.
would think though, but no, it's not.
Yeah, but that's why they also say a fool at 40 is a fool for life. So it's kind of like, at this point, you're supposed to have perspective.
Yeah. Because you're pretty much in your lifespan. This is midway.
True.
Reality. Yeah. Because when you get to 80, by God's grace, we get there and we go past it. But when you get to 80, if anybody who dies at the age of 80, they will say that person has lived a full life.
Absolutely.
Do you get what I mean?
Absolutely.
So anything past that, you're just living on borrowed time. Do you get? So, and I think apart from that, and I totally agree, mostly for women, I think, is that I don't know whether there's a hormonal shift as well. I just feel like there's no space for BS.
You know what? It starts, I think for me, it started in my late 30s, but totally, it's kind of like there's a shift in your brain that you kind of think,
I don't have capacity for this.
As in, tolerance levels start to drop. It's like, I can't deal. I really can't deal.
Yeah.
I think maybe we need to get a doctor or somebody to come and tell us if
I think it's because it's something we talked about quite a bit. So I think it'll be a separate topic on its own. Anywho, before we forget our topic for today, because we can go on and on about this.
As in, so today, what we're discussing today, I think it stemmed from a lot of conversations we've had with other people over the last few months. Every time I gather with any bunch of people over the age of 30, dating and relationships always come up.
Yep.
So today we're discussing dating and the cultural, what I call the cultural norms
and what's accepted.
And what that dating scene looks like in 2025.
Okay, yeah, and I think we could do a bit of comparison as well,
of
because
course.
I suppose some of those cultural norms still exist, but as we have, one of the themes I think throughout our conversations is there's a lot of shifts now with the way people are approaching these things. So we can go through it in different, because I think we're doing 2 or 3. We're talking about 2 or 3 of these. And starting off with online dating.
I think even set this in, I think the first thing that I think has run as a theme for people is just how hard the dating scene is now.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And which is why obviously online dating, which was when a few years ago was like a complete no-no.
Of course.
As soon as you mention it, it's like never.
Of course.
That how would I just pick some random guy on the internet? But the fact is that dating scene now is so tough.
It's hard.
Yeah,
it's
man.
hard. When people talk about their experiences dating, and I thought it was peculiar for us being in the UK. I thought it was because obviously we're so busy. It's really hard, except let me speak for myself. I think generally when you think about having a social life, I wouldn't say I necessarily have a social life, right? And then, think about somebody who maybe in their 40s or 30s or, do you understand, never been married, trying to find somebody, church is sometimes a place that people meet and get married. But if that doesn't quite work out, the other place might be work and you're there for work. So do you see what I'm saying? So it just gets, and then by the time you get through the hustle and bustle of the week, you have your Saturday to get everything else done. I mean, I don't know how people do it, or that they make time party for Saturday. I don't know.
Because party is not important to you.
I suppose maybe
that party is important to you, be there. But I completely get you. And I think the world has moved in such a way that we're so busy. There's your work and there's also the topic for another day, the pressure to also have, a side hustle or something else about you. So everyone's life is single or not, your life is full.
Yeah.
Because everybody nowadays tends to be more than just one thing. I am a doctor and
I have X, Y, and Z business.
That is, or even if it's church, I'm a pastor and I'm a doctor and a pastor. Whatever the case may be, most people are multifaceted. So by the time you do those two things properly, you don't have a lot of downtime. So if you don't have the opportunity to meet people while you're doing your day-to-day, where are you going to meet these people? So that's why I think now there's a lot of online dating is now more attractive.
But I suppose it's going back to the point we're trying to make, it's the social acceptance of it. So I think there's a huge shift now, and correct me if I'm wrong, I even think even in Nigeria now they have online dating platforms, which I think only recently, because I don't think those things existed a few years ago. I think only recently have they now started to develop those things. Back to the point I was trying to make earlier, that I thought this problem was only a UK problem in terms of trying to find, because of how our lives are so busy. But actually, when I went to Nigeria, it's a general theme, it's a general conversation. It's hard for people to just find, I think once you cross a certain stage in life, it's just really hard to find a partner. Do you understand? The dating scene is just a jungle.
So are these ladies or men that are struggling?
I think it's mostly women. It's mostly women. And I think for me, I think women are forced sometimes to lower their standards.
This table you want to shake.
Yeah, I think women are forced to lower their standards to meet that, should I say, requirement of answering that name and Mrs. Somebody. Do you understand?
What should she do?
She shouldn't. The reality is she shouldn't. And I think it's one of the things that we have found to be, in hindsight, when you come out of the situation and then you think into it, you realize that marriage, having children, does that always define you as a woman?
I don't think it should. It should. Like, these are things that, yes, everybody, or not everybody, if you want it, you should try and, go for it. But I don't think a woman who doesn't get married or who doesn't have kids is any less fulfilled.
But you see, you think that way. But when you live in a culture when they say something is a cultural norm, that means that it takes a lot of rebuffing, which is really hard.
Fair.
It takes a lot of, I'm not going to let this define me. Because when you're getting pressure from, actually, first you think you're dealing with the internal, because for me, I find it to be in twofold. You deal internally, you deal with your family, you then have to deal with social pressures.
Yeah.
Do you get? Because everyone's like, once you cross a certain age, everyone's like, how far?
What's going on?
You never bring man. Do you understand?
Wow.
So it's the pressure, because a woman is seen to have a biological clock. So when she has not met, if by 25, you don't have somebody that is coming to say a serious partner, or somebody that is potentially, it almost feels like something is wrong with you. Do you understand? And I've heard men say that a woman that is not married, that something must be wrong with her. I've heard that before.
Like a woman,
like if she's not married by 35, even 40 safe, that she's never been married, she never had kids, something is wrong with her.
In fairness, I also say that for men over a certain age.
So, but you see, that is
Let's be fair.
it's the reality is.
But it's the reality.
No,
though.
it is.
A guy at their few. That's nothing is not. There's no comma somewhere.
To be honest,
A man
if
over
a guy,
the age of 40.
if a guy is 45,
Yeah. Never been married.
does
no
not
children.
have children,
Nothing.
does not have.
Ah.
I will ask question. No?
It's a red flag.
I will need to. I don't know. I see again.
You can look. Yes, there will be some.
It's worth probing further.
Absolutely.
It's worth probing further because clearly, bro, what have you been doing? But I've heard of men that got married quite late in their 40s and there was absolutely nothing wrong. It's just that they wanted to focus on other things and decided that. But you see, the beauty of it for men is they can.
Oh, of course. There is... It's... They have a peak. They have a... they can decide when. A man can decide, I don't want to get married, and then change his mind at 55.
Yeah, I still want to have children.
Go and have, and still get a 25-year-old girl to marry. You get what I mean? So that's the luxury of being a man. But I suppose the reason why I say it's a red flag, I'm thinking about it now. I actually do not personally know any guy who is over 40, never been married, or doesn't have any kids, who has his life figured out, everything all together, and actually desires to be in a relationship and isn't in one.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't know any.
Yeah. I don't know any personally either. But I've heard stories, the internet has everything if you're looking for it.
Fair enough.
So, not that I know them personally, but I've heard, stories where people share things like that, where a guy over 40 decided that actually right now I want to focus on building myself so that by the time I get married, my wife is not hustling. We're not hustling. I want to be made,
So I suppose that's why I put the caveat at the end, that last point at the end, that somebody that actually desires to be in a relationship and is not in one.
Yeah, true. Anyway, and
which on the flip side, I know a lot of women, I can sit here and count up to 10.
Yeah.
Who are, these are genuine, good women.
Yeah.
And they desire a relationship, but the pool, there is nobody.
And sometimes, again, it's that you desire it so much to the point where you, like I said earlier, just because it's something that, when you desire, okay, that you like, I don't like sweet. Let's use chocolate, for example. Not that I like chocolate that much either, but just an example. I like chocolate so much. But I know that I have a lactose intolerance, right? And I go and buy this chocolate and I will eat the chocolate, knowing fully well what it's going to do to me, right? And I think that in trying to use that analogy is a lot of women desire to be married. They desire to be loved. They desire to be held. Do you understand? They desire this
companionship.
Yeah. But unfortunately, there are not that many men out there, because I think, again, it is that when a woman gets to the point where she's ready to make those commitments and desires to do those things, a man is not always necessarily at that point ready as well.
Fair.
I think that's probably one of the reasons that I can think of. And you even now hear stories of people that have been together 10 years, right? Break up within 6 months. This brother is married.
Well, you see, let's not even go there.
But let's leave that matter.
Like that guy is your weekend.
Let's not
because
digress.
you have strung a woman along for 10 years. Kilo day.
Let's not digress. But it does happen. The man, they would have dated. The babe is hanging around, waiting. Alpha. When is this happening?
No, that's a wicked guy.
Then 6 months. And it's not that this babe has been side chico.
As your main...
6 months, he will give her ring and they will get married.
Well, I say the guy is wicked, but at the same time, I think it goes back to, see, advice to my 20-year-old self. If the something is not serving you well, don't dwell too long in that mountain, please.
Thank you. Anyway, so back to online dating, which I found a very interesting scenario that I thought, okay, we can use that to discuss it. So a woman named Sarah decided to try online dating after hearing about success stories from her friends.
Okay.
She created an attractive profile, started chatting with a man named Jake. They quickly hit it off, bonding over shared interest and humor. After a few weeks of texting, video calls, they now agree to meet in person. On the day of their first date, Sarah arrived at the restaurant early, excited, and a bit nervous. She's understandable. However, when Jake walked in, she was taken aback. He looked nothing like his profile picture.
Hey, catfishing.
They were at least 5 years old and heavily edited. While he was charming, Sarah felt uneasy about the deception. But again, she decided to, it doesn't say it on here, but I'm guessing she decided to, okay, let me overlook it a little bit. As they chatted, she noticed he constantly checked his phone and seemed distracted. After some time, he admitted he was still in contact with his ex and was figuring things out.
Okay. Fantastic.
This revelation left Sarah feeling uncomfortable and questioning his honesty. Things took a turn when he suggested that they go back to his place after dinner, claiming it was closer. Feeling pressured and unsure, Sarah declined the offer. Jake then became defensive, making her feel guilty for saying no. Sarah managed to exit the situation, but she left feeling confused and frustrated, realizing that online dating had its challenges and that not everyone may be as they seem. The experience taught her to be more cautious and to trust her instincts in future encounters.
We thank God for this story
Auntie
because
Sarah.
the girl left. Because it's too many red flags in that story. Because first off, you are still what concern your ex. First dates, you cannot even focus on these dates. You are still checking message from your ex. The guy is not ready now.
Yeah.
That's not someone that has moved on. He has no business dating.
I think one thing I found interesting about the story as well is this whole concept of online dating, how scary it is. It's scary, isn't it? Because, and I don't know whether, is there a real difference between online dating, how you meet somebody online, or meeting somebody in person and you exchange numbers? Is there a real difference? I suppose, yeah.
The first difference fundamentally is that you physically see
You can see what you're dealing with.
So you can, because in the world of, the online world, I could be anything, pretending to be to be anybody.
This uncle.
And I suppose we say online dating, it's not necessarily just the apps. This is someone sliding into your DMs, all the likes, it's all the same stuff. You could be dealing with absolutely anybody. But so it is scary in that is a bit more scary. But you're right, people can pretend to be whatever in person as well. It's like this scenario where the guy is hiding or he's still got something to do with his ex. That could be someone you meet in person, but at least fundamentally, you know what the person looks like.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've had a chance to have an initial interaction and make a first basic judgment of character, or okay, will I flow with this guy or not?
Yeah.
People pretend in person, online, or whatever. So yes, people can still pretend and catfish. Well, not catfish you, but you get what I mean. People can still lie to you in person, but I think it's a little bit harder.
Yeah. I agree.
Unlike I'm using ChatGPT to get the lyrics I'm using for you, as in it can be completely unoriginal. It's true though.
That's serious. If a guy, anyway,
I'm sure
AI is doing a lot for people right now.
I'm sure people do it.
AI is doing a lot for people right now, but that's crazy.
Me, but I'm sure people do it.
That's crazy. It is well. But yeah, I think for me though, in terms of the generally speaking about online dating, I get why it might be a good way to try and find a potential partner. But I think in any situation, it's a risk. But I think sometimes it's a risk worth taking.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It works for a lot of people. I think social media does play a big part in that. Yeah, it might not be like the apps because I'm categorizing everything together.
Yeah.
And
When you slide into somebody's DM and
no,
all
but
that.
yeah, but I think a lot of people actually meet that way these days because we spend so much of our lives online.
Yeah.
And we have, the world is bigger, but yet alone our interactions are somehow narrowed. If I sit down now, if I was single today with my current life, I can't think of many places that I go to regularly that I will be able to meet people right now. If I'm being honest, of course, maybe if I didn't have, children or whatever, maybe I would be doing, more social things more often. So I can definitely see how online, people have a full life online, on social media, so people connect that way. And I see it.
Yeah. And I suppose, you're right. It's also one of the ways that there have been some really beautiful stories that have come out of that as well. I slid into your DM and, from there we start having a conversation and then who knows, it just progresses from there. But I suppose for me, it's just the mindset shift that
It's become
just
acceptable.
it's just like with every scenario of dating. Online, yes, there's probably a bigger risk because you don't know who this person is. This person is just a random person online. But yeah, I mean, it depends on the platforms as well. I think there are certain online dating platforms that if you go on there, whatever you get, just take it like that.
Well.
So sorry, because some people are there because they know what they are looking for.
Well.
So let's not beat about the bush. I know what we're here for. If you don't know, forget about it.
So I can't even imagine explaining online dating to my mom for her to even understand that concept. But though, a concept she will 100% get behind, which is something that now we kind of frown on, is arranged marriage.
Yes, totally. I hear that.
So
I mean, in some parts, in some cultures, it's still a norm, almost.
Yeah, it is. But I think generally now, if you tell somebody you want to do arrange marriage for them, it's like, for what now? You have capability of meeting somebody on your own. But I think maybe is a concept that maybe we need to think about again. Can it really work? I know of people who have successfully, I don't know. Well, I know a couple actually, but they're not Nigerian. I know 2 or 3 people who have had arranged marriages, but they're all Asian.
I think it's a huge thing within the Asian culture.
And I remember one of them, I really drilled her like, you could not find husband in all of this UK, that they had to go and import husband for you from India. And she's like, nah, that she was when she was ready, and that she had choices.
Okay.
That it was not just I think maybe for me is that this is the guy, full stop. It was kind of, they gave her choices. Like, okay, they said they gave a portfolio. Then you look at them and you then pick, okay, I think I like this one. And then you meet the guy.
Yeah.
And then if after meeting him it's still a no for you, then that's fine. The agent has to go back and look for another one.
It's agency.
It's agent, so it's agents.
That's serious.
They have these mamas that do it. Yeah. And I was like, so how are you finding marriage? She was like, she's loving it. I was like, really?
Wow. And again, it's just one of those things that you might just meet this person and, you hit it off. It's the same. I would even think, if I could almost argue, it's the same as your friends hooking you up with somebody.
I think in the way that they did it for her, yes, because she still had autonomy and she still had choice.
I think I agree with you. I think it's when that autonomy is taken away and you both then end up really not liking each other, then that's where there's problem. I think if similarly to you, there's a girl that I worked with as well who I wasn't very close to her, but she'd shared generally that, her mom had introduced her to this guy, and wanted to, in fact, that said to her, this is your husband. And she told her mom that I'm not ready. I don't know whether this is what I want or this is the guy I like. So her mom compromised and said, okay, why don't you get to know him and then let's see how it goes. And within like 3 months, I just started seeing when you call, I said, because we started sitting in the office, how is this? At first she'll be like, no, please, she doesn't want to talk about it. The next thing, she's like smiling. She's like, oh, he's so nice. Oh, he's so this. I'm like, so wow. Ooh. And yeah, I think, I left that particular workplace, but I think just before I left, they were already planning the wedding. Wow. Yeah. So, it does end well. I think it's giving two people the opportunity to know whether they act, at least at the very beginning, that they're even compatible to some degree.
Yeah. So to be honest, I suppose maybe this is not so much. It's kind of like a cross between like arranged and like matchmaking.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the sweet spot, that kind of hybrid where they tell you still have a bit of choice, even though maybe in reality they are really rooting for this.
If you come back and say no now, that's where there'll be problem.
But so it's probably maybe this is more matchmaking than arranged marriage. But I think maybe there's some of these the old practices that we've done away with, that maybe there was merit in the way they did things in that. And I think maybe it worked in the past because they also had the different criteria for marriage. Like they had a different mindset going into marriage. I remember my dad said something, and I thought, of course, I was like 15, 16 when he said this first to my hearing. And I'm like, what's my own about? That as long as there are two intelligent people who want your marriage to work, it will work. And I'm like, what's this guy saying? He's like, this love thing people are talking is overrated. And I'm like, what's this man talking about? But now, as an adult, I kind of think I see the point he's trying to make, because what he was trying to say is it's about two intentional people making the right degree of compromise. It will work.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Eventually.
Yeah. If you're two normal people, not that one person has certain hair that is moving in a different direction. Two regular folks, determined, ready to compromise, it will work.
Yeah. Because as we know, relationships it requires a lot more than love. It requires a lot more than love.
The way to clear your eye.
I'm telling you.
But yeah, I think you guys let us know. What's your view on arranged marriage, matchmaking, online dating? And has it changed from what you thought about how you viewed these things 15 years ago, 20 years ago? Personally, I will tell you, for me, it has completely changed. I'm more open-minded when it comes to these things. Because before, if you tell me, I met a guy, I'm like, how?
Yeah. It's not something that was very... I'll even say maybe going back as 15 years ago. But now I'm like, yeah, why not?
Go for it.
Why not?
Or you met a babe as a guy.
Yeah, I agree. And I think for me, I wouldn't say that my mindset has changed a lot on arranged marriage. I think where it differs a little bit now is, I think we already made the point, is you see those strong cultural and it's the woman who doesn't have the choice.
Yes.
And that's where I have a problem.
Yes.
So your husband is chosen for you. You're told this is your husband. And if he now turns out to be a madman,
or just somebody you're not compatible
or
with.
somebody you're not compatible with, because these things, I mean, if you couldn't spend the rest of your life, that's a long time to be living with somebody that you don't like in that way, where you are forced. Do you know the resentment that you build around this person every day?
I remember, this. And I think when we only think arrangement, we only think about it from like cultural, but I think they do it in church as well.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? The pastor will just say, brother, this, how far with this sister?
This sister, this.
And before you know where you are, the marriage has set. But I think I was listening to this couple that they were giving their testimony on this whole arranged thing.
Through the church or...
Yeah, they are Christian. They are very churchy. Funny enough, different races actually. But their mothers decided they were going to get married. And they were talking about their journey, and they were quite open about it. The girl was saying, as at the wedding night, she didn't even like the girl. But they are into it. When we were talking about this, they had been about almost 6-7 years in, 3 kids later,
Wow.
And she's like, she couldn't have married a better person. And I'm like, so it was like her angle was, once she opened her mind, that because her mom knows her very well, and the parents know their children very well. So when they were picking, it was kind of, I've seen this guy, I know he will be compatible with you. He'll be
good for you.
And it took her a minute to see it. But I'm like, but she went all the way to marry him first. Like, why? But that's a success story. I'm sure but I think there's more the other way, where it didn't work out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all I'm saying is, I think I'm a bit softer to it now.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Do you get?
Yeah, I get that.
To the idea of it.
I think for me, it's the intentions behind it.
Yeah.
If the person that's trying to do the arranged marriage is doing it with the right intentions and it's not being forced on one party, I'm good. I'm open to the idea, because maybe I've been struggling to find, and you even hear stories like, they've seen that you have dated this guy, he's an idiot. Dated another one, he's a
You don't know how to choose, basically.
Something must be happening. Let us help your ministry.
Help you choose, because
let's help your ministry, my dear sister. I get that. Did you get what I mean? I get that.
Absolutely.
But it's not the one that, even, in fact, from when I was in my mother's tummy, they say, this is a gay. I say boy. Oh yeah, they are married. In fact, some have even paid the bride price safe.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I have a massive issue with. Massive issue. Funny story though. The pressure does happen with men as well, but I don't think it's as strong as it is for women. Funny story, my brother is not married, and he'll probably kill me for sharing this on this podcast, but I'll share it. So my mom, my parents, they are very hot on his tail.
Wow.
Every time. When is your brother? Call your brother now.
Yeah.
Talk to him.
Yeah, we want grandbabies.
Because obviously my children are they're getting older. They're 11 and 14, and they're getting older. So I'm like, okay. So now my parents are like, I think I had to tell them that, look, when he's ready, you'll find. Because my mom was like, I have a good girlfriend. I said, no. Leave it there. It ain't gonna happen.
And she might have a good girl.
No, rich guy. No, not my brother that I know.
And she might, the girl might
for
be
the girl's own sake, it's better. But anyway, so just as we wrap up, and as Uju was saying, what are your experiences with online dating, arranged marriage? I mean, there are quite a few issues that we can talk about, scenarios that we can discuss. But in terms of like cultural values and norms, are you fixed minded about? Are you still very much like, no, it's a no, or actually there's nothing wrong with these methods of dating? We really like to hear from you. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us on this discussion.
And please don't forget to engage with us. Like, share, subscribe.
Yep.
We always love to hear from you. Until next time, see you on the next one.
See you.